Hi, I'm Mike Messier, and welcome to Messier Mantra. On this episode, we have a very special return guest, Geena Matuson. Right now, we're going to take a look at the trailer for her film, My Big Bad Wolf. Let's check it out right here on Messier Mantra.
I want you.
Prove it. Your turn. You're not real. You better run.
Welcome back to Messier Mantra. At this time, I'm very happy to introduce the filmmaker of what we just saw. It's Geena Matuson.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
Thanks for being on the show again. Yeah. And let's talk on this episode, let's really dig in deep into your filmmaking process.
Sure.
On our previous episode, we talked about a variety of topics because you have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
On My Big Bad Wolf and some of your other projects that people can see on geenamatuson.com. There is Ice Cream for Breakfast, which we saw in our previous episode together. Really intense piece. One that I liked was it called Girl Talk Flirting?
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's on my Vimeo.
Yeah. I like Girl Talk Flirting. Today while we were doing the directions to the studio, I was going to text you some quotes from them. I'm like, no, I can't, because if you forgot what you wrote yourself,
Right.
which you probably, I was like, no, this is take it out of context. But if people do want to check it out, Girl Talk Flirting, they'll see you acting in at least 3 different characters. You kind of have the 60s hippie girl.
I think 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Yep, hippie, like weird goth.
Yeah.
Country girl.
Yeah.
Myself.
Right.
And 1 or 2 guys. So.
Okay. Yeah. Girl Talk Flirting.
Yeah.
That's a Mike favorite. That's funny.
Thanks.
And so, what is your process if you're going to make, someone said, Geena, you made a variety of short films. If you're going to break down, say, let's take My Big Bad Wolf, because we just saw the preview. So from soup to nuts, portion of it. But how did you go about doing that?
How did I, just a trick?
Well, like writing the script and like for the whole
sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, to begin with, I have a really big, not obsession, interest in masks.
Okay.
I love, they're so beautiful. All the different colors and styles, and your face can look like a moon.
Yeah.
Very cool. I took a trip to Italy in 2011. I ended up buying mostly masks.
Nice.
And conveniently, I brought a laundry bag with me, which is what I filled with masks and brought it on the plane back with me.
Yeah.
And I think both being in Italy and having all of those masks inspired me to do I wanted to make a film where at least at some point everyone was wearing masks.
Okay.
And what I've learned basically is that when I start writing anything, I start in the middle.
Okay.
I've never been, hey, let's write an outline. I can do that,
Right.
but I don't. So I start in the middle and I think, well, what happens leading up to this point where everyone's wearing masks? Then I work backwards and I work backwards and I get to about, this might sound really convoluted.
That's all right.
I get to about like a quarter of the way towards the beginning. And then I skip all the way back and I think, well, now let's think of the beginning. Where do we start? And then how can I connect it to what I already have? And then I usually try to think of the ending.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you, once you have the middle, the beginning, and the ending, it's not too hard to figure out how you can just kind of fill in that little gap there.
Right.
So, I can't be more, precise, because
Okay.
it's kind of a loose process, but it
Yeah.
always seems to work. So.
Do you use a screenwriting program?
Yes,
Okay.
I've been using Final Draft
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, me too. I like the shortcut keys. I've used Celtics, but it's not, it's free, the
Right.
software I was using, so it's not as fast as Final Draft.
I'm a big Final Draft snob.
I like Final Draft
I take
too.
issue when people give me something. I'm like, oh god, what are
I
these?
know.
Or the worst is when someone gives you a script and it's written in like Microsoft Word
I
and
know.
I'm like, oh come on, give me a break here. Okay, so let's say you've written your script, and then you go on. Is it a quest? Usually first for locations or for actors or for you need some funds for this thing or because I know a lot of your films you're the cinematographer, the writer
Right.
director, so you're doing a lot of stuff yourself.
Right. So I'll tell you, a lot of the films I've done so far are either low or no budget.
Sure.
A lot were done in school,
Yeah.
so I had the equipment. Wasn't thinking about too much funding.
Right.
Location scouting, totally my downfall.
Oh, okay.
As much as you might think I'm good at it, it's just the most stressful thing.
Really?
It really, for me, I'm not really into location scouting.
Okay.
I do it because usually you have to hire someone to do it.
Right, right.
And that's where you'd need the funds. So that's usually the middle thing I do.
What do you find frustrating about it? I'm just curious.
I think it's just the fact that you gotta go places.
Yeah.
It's not, calling and, hey, I'd like to use your space.
Right.
It's physically going there.
Yeah.
Oh, does this look right? And if it's no, it's just such
It's
a
a
time
wasted
suck.
trip. Yeah, it's a waste. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
That's my, I like spending more time on organizing the production, and if I know the location, it's just so much easier to make the shot list and move it right into the scene, and I like that part.
What's do you audition actors? Do you do like
Yes.
the fingertip method? How's the audition process for you?
What's the fingertip method?
The fingertip method is what I call when you know a bunch of actors and you kind of say, well, this one I like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know this person and they'll be good for this role.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, I do audition. Yeah, and that's how you meet new people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing the last few years.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for an audition, just for the folks that don't know watching the show, if they, try to reach out to people that maybe have not made a short film and they want to. So you basically would you rent a venue or you set up a class at the school, classroom and have people come in and read sides from the script type of thing?
Yes, to both of those.
Yeah.
There's 3 different kinds of auditions I guess I could do. There's one, if you need extras, for instance, you can just ask people to submit their headshot and resume, and you can either just email them back yes or no.
Right.
That's simple. If you can't get a venue for whatever reason, you can ask them if they have the capabilities. Can I see your acting reel, or can you read this script and record it and send it to me?
Right. A
It's
YouTube
another
video,
one.
for instance.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I do like meeting people in person, though.
Yeah.
So if I can, classroom,
Right.
some room at a venue, that's great. That's ideal.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
get the vibe of the person, can
Right.
we work together and so forth and
Right.
so on, yeah. So now you get your script, so you get your actors, and, painstakingly or not, you've got your location. Take us through a day of directing, when you're directing.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I haven't worked with too many assistant directors.
Right.
So not only am I acting as director, I'm acting as assistant director,
Yeah.
which means everyone both loves you because you're the director and
Right.
they're supposed to, but they hate you because you're acting as the assistant director.
Yeah.
And that's the person who usually yells at everyone.
Right.
Hey, we need you to be here now, come here. So preferably, if I was just directing,
Yeah.
I would have an assistant director, an AD, who has a binder with all of the shot lists, call sheets, extra paper to write notes on, right there, next to me at all times, available by walkie-talkie when they go to bring someone else in and I can't find them.
Right.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And I get on the set, you know, at the proper call time. I make sure that hair and makeup is underway for the scene.
Right.
I make sure that all the set is secure, that the crew has the equipment set up, and I mean, either I could be there while they're setting it up, so I'm there like an hour or two before the cast.
Right.
Or if for some reason I have to be late, you know,
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be set up.
Right.
And yeah, oh God, it's just so great when it all comes together.
When it
and
clicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you do a good pre-production, everything's where it should be, and all you have to do is talk to the actors for like 2 minutes, maybe more.
Right.
You tell them about the scene, you try to help them get into character,
Yeah.
and then you do action. It's so great.
What I've found is, where'd you learn all this? Because did you learn on the job, or did you study books, or tell me about it? Did you study film in school, or what?
I did study film. I
Yeah.
went to Mass Art for film. At the time, at least, they didn't have classes really focused on pre-production directing. They were more focused on the technical aspect, camera work, how to get the lighting this way,
Right.
And it was also a lot of video art, so it was a little removed from what I've learned is more industry kind of filming. And yeah, I think it was a lot of research.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been a research kind of person. Research, write, you know, essays, all of that. I've been into that.
Yeah.
And if you're good at researching, you could pretty much learn whatever you want. So
Once you filmed the movie,
yeah.
Do you edit yourself, Geena, or do you work with an editor?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to move away from saying I do camera work, you know, being a cinematographer. I like it, not my preferred kind of thing,
Right.
because I'm okay at it.
Yeah.
But I know there's so many really good cameramen.
Right.
I mean, and I would so much rather work with them to get the shots, you know?
Yeah, and women too.
Yeah.
Camera women.
Okay,
yeah.
cinematographers.
Right.
And I do edit. I really like to edit, but right now that's mostly because sometimes I deviate from the script.
Yeah.
If it's supposed to be surreal,
Right.
I like to kind of pop things in there. I'm a huge fan of flash frames
Okay.
to make it look like old film.
Oh, nice.
Not like accidental, oops,
Right,
what
right,
was
right.
that? But like,
Here's
like,
an
wow.
ostrich. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
With 3 legs. What?
Yeah. So as far as like effects and little sneaky things,
Yeah.
that's why I like editing. Sometimes I like, when I trim things down, I find it's just really fun.
Yeah.
It's like organizing. It's so tedious, but
Right.
it's like, who likes that? I don't know. I like it.
When you edit, just as a weird question, do you because for me editing is tough, and I don't even edit, but I'll sit in on a session with my editor, but I get so I need, like, hey man, put some AC/DC on, you know, like the music, you know,
Yeah.
or let's burn some incense or something.
Yeah.
Do you feel a need for like background music or anything? I'm just trying to get a visual.
Yeah. If I'm doing visual editing as opposed to audio, obviously,
Right.
yeah, totally, I'll have background music on. And yeah, I think like a lot of filmmakers, editors, mostly it's background music that, well, for me, that would go with the film,
Right.
because it helps you get in the mood.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
That's cool. And each film, you know, for instance, for me, it might be, okay, I'm going to listen to some Zeppelin or something like, these are things I like, you know, Wilco
Yeah.
or something. But, you know, if I'm doing something a little darker, let's put on the Incubus or, you know, something like
Yeah,
that. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Something a little darker. Now that you've edited the film, you have it done, it's in the can, so to speak. What do you do to market this film? What's the next step?
Well, I guess the first thing I do is I put it online.
Yep.
Usually I keep it private while I've researched, at the same time I've researched film festivals I could enter into, because some don't want films that have already been seen online.
Correct.
And then I determine, well, what's the turnaround time? Am I going to have to sit on this and keep it private for like a year
Right.
while they decide? So, you know, it's kind of that, you got to make decisions
Balancing
like that.
that.
Right.
Scales of justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I put it online, I share it, I show people, I try to enter into local screenings.
Yes.
That way people will see them, and oftentimes those local screenings aren't like, we don't care if it's been online. They don't care.
Yeah, some do and some don't. And then the thing with some of these festivals, like I said, is some care if you share them online, some don't. Short films as opposed to a feature. Some want, I think Sundance wants mostly premiere status films. Meaning, for those that don't know, that films that haven't been shown anywhere before. And so, like you said, am I supposed to sit on my film for a year and a half, waiting for you to make your decision? And my little technique, just for anyone watching, is the friends and family screening. Meaning it has been shown to the public, but I'll rent out, the Brooklyn Coffee and Tea House in Providence, for instance, and have the friends and family screening, so those that have deserved to see the film because they worked on it can get to see it, but not charge admission to ruin the premiere status somewhere else. What we saw at the beginning of the show, My Big Bad Wolf, won you an award for the one to watch. Did I get that right?
Yes. Yeah, it was for the Red Wasp Film Festival in Texas, 2013, and it got me the One to Watch Film Award. Yeah.
What did you say? Was that in Texas?
Yeah.
Did you? To me, it's exciting when a filmmaker from one region of the country does well in another region of the country.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. Did you get to go out to Texas or not so much?
I did not.
Yeah, it's tough because it's so much money.
Right.
And I was coincidentally a film that I produced won an award in Texas too. And it's
wow,
like,
nice.
They like us.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
And isn't it true? Biblically speaking, that a prophet is never appreciated in their hometown. so let's all go to Texas.
Yeah, really.
Give us awards. But that must have been very exciting when you got news. How did you find out about the one to watch?
Actually, when you asked about funding a few minutes ago, I did have a Kickstarter campaign, successful.
Nice.
For My Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
And I ran it during the pre-production part, and that really helped enter film festivals.
Right.
During that campaign, one of the campaign backers messaged me, and he said he had helped out on the Red Wasp Film Festival. I should look into it.
Cool.
Yeah. So I entered, and they were like, that's great. And I think coincidentally, there were a few other Boston filmmakers who entered.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh wow, this must be like, I don't know how the word got around Boston from Texas, but that was cool. So, yeah.
Nice. And was it like a certificate, or was there any physical
Oh
object?
my God, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Totally unexpected. I got t-shirts, posters, a bottle of wine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really nice.
Have you had the bottle of wine yet?
I have not.
It's still sitting.
I know.
It's getting vintage. That's good. Well, wine gets better with time, right?
Are there wine, if they don't have a date on them?
Right.
What does that mean? I don't
It's probably
drink.
good. It's probably like a high-profile wine.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not in the box, if it's in a bottle,
Sure.
a glass, thing. That's exciting. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
thanks.
I want to look at your profile, your bio, because I did my homework, and I
Yeah.
was on your website again. I was looking at your bio. I like this. Your personal work focuses on rhythms and patterns, symbolism and dreams, adding to its surreal nature. That's really cool, because let's talk about symbolism. Okay, in My Big Bad Wolf, talk about the symbolism in there for a moment.
Well, let's see. There's a part, you don't see this in, you might see this in the trailer.
Okay.
It's a dead fish in the water.
Yeah.
Seems kind of small, seems like it was actually just a really good opportunity. We happened to be filming there. They pointed out the dead fish in the water. I filmed it. Oh my God, this is perfect. That's what I was thinking, because
Yeah.
it symbolizes their dying relationship, which that's what the scene is, their relationship. You see it falling
Right.
apart. Dead fish. It's great.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
cool.
but that's a pretty obvious symbol. Of course, the guy's wearing a wolf mask throughout the film.
Right.
That was intentional, obviously, because even though I told you I had all these Italian masks,
Right.
I actually went to, what was it, the garment district, bought a fox mask, painted it like a wolf,
Yeah.
because I wanted to convey that this was like a game.
Right.
This was like a sort of childish fairy tale, not terribly creepy, but just verging on it, where you're like,
Right.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. What I liked about the opening shots of the trailer as I watched it today before our show was it did kind of haunt me like Eyes Wide Shut, but it was almost a little bit more haunting in some ways because it was like they're kind of like coming at you right away. Eyes Wide Shut can have this slow reveal throughout the scene, but yours, at least in the trailer,
Right.
it's kind of like, whoa, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like these are gonna get me, you know?
I had so much fun filming that. I had a Bolex film camera.
Yeah.
Love film.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Nice.
Because you think you know what you're getting.
Right.
You should know what you're getting.
Yeah.
But I used, I bought a bag of toy kaleidoscopes,
Yeah.
popped the lens off, put it over the lens of the Bolex camera, and was filming with that. So you really didn't know what you were gonna get.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we talk about some more things from your bio here. And there was something on here about rhythmic patterns. Here he is. The rhythm of words can make a story all the more compelling. The rhythm of words. So are we talking about, and I'm just going back to my English major days, iambic pentameters and alliterations and all that good stuff. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
actually, yeah. Yes, that is what I just, I'm completely an auditory learner.
yes.
I focused on audio design a lot in school. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
And so I think it makes sense. Everything kind of came together like a few years ago for me when I realized that all of my interests actually relate. I love writing
Yeah.
because I not only like telling stories, but I love words.
Right.
So, and I was realizing I love words because you can string them together and they just can sound so different
Right.
based on the rest of that sentence or phrase or what have you. And that's why I'm so interested in dialogue. A lot of my stuff is either dialogue heavy or music heavy,
Yeah.
you know? And oh, I just love that. When you time music to go with the visuals, that's another aspect. I mean, it's interesting because words, I'm like going on a rant.
Go
but
for it.
It's like, you know, words have rhythms and patterns, audio has rhythm and patterns.
Right.
And when you link them together, I mean, yeah.
It's nice.
I can't
Yeah.
even, like, I'm at the point where I'm just really into this and I can't think of what else to say, but
Well, no, it's good because I mean
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, and you know, as you're a poet, you know, as poets, every symbol, not syllable, you know, is important. Talk about was it Japanese haiku? You know, where there's a what is it 575, and something like that.
Yes.
Right.
yeah, something like that.
Something like
Yeah.
that, yeah. But if you take that little microcosm of poetry, the haiku, and then you correlate that to a longer piece, think about something like the Odyssey or you know, Paradise Lost, or something like, you know, some of these huge epic pieces, and just every syllable, you know, counts.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I love stream of consciousness writing.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that. And I'm not talking like just a string of words
Right.
that like don't go anywhere. I'm talking like Virginia Woolf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My life has stood a loaded gun. But that's not stream of consciousness. That's Emily Dickinson.
Well, I guess stream of consciousness, that's a little more concrete than
Right.
like tree table lamp.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she just strings the words together beautifully, like the sounds of the words link so well, and by the end of the paragraph or the chapter or whatever she's written, you actually understand the concept she created.
Was she one of your heroes or role models?
Yeah, I guess literary wise.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next for you? What's we talked a little bit off camera, but you don't have to go into the particulars, but
Sure.
what's in your creative process or in your creative career, what's coming up?
Well, actually, we're talking about rhythms and words and patterns, audio. For like 2 years, I've had this idea to record spoken word, just straight at the camera, make it a video, pop it online, and that way people can both experience my writing and a video.
Yes.
Because people like the immediacy.
Right.
But lately I've been thinking, I love making music or just weird sounds.
Right.
So how great would it be, record my spoken word, remix that in audio programs, make it like crazy, dreamlike, awesome, kind
Yeah.
of musical, there's like a rhythm there, and then record a music video using that track. A little involved.
But worth it.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what I want to be doing pretty soon.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Do you have any visual art shows coming up that people in Boston or anything? What's going on?
Yes, here's a long one for you. The Boston LGBTQIA Artist Alliance.
Okay.
They like to call themselves BLAH for short, right, the acronym.
Yeah.
They're having a show called Makeover,
Okay.
and it runs from October, I think, 7th to the 24th,
Okay.
and the reception's on the 9th.
Yeah.
And it's at Sub Sampson Gallery on
Okay.
Harrison Ave in Boston. And I do have 2 pieces in there. It's part of, yeah, thanks.
Good.
It's part of a collaboration I have going with a painter. So I did this digital art,
Right.
from our collaboration. It's awesome. It's exciting.
Is
So
this-
that's another.
Your buddy, Mr. Pete Rogers?
Yes,
The same one? Okay.
Pete
We'll
Rogers,
talk about that in the
same
class.
artist. Yeah.
We've only got about 30 seconds left.
Oh, okay.
We've had you on 2 great episodes. It just flies.
Yeah, it does. Wow. Thanks.
And we get to see some of your films, and on the previous episode saw some of your art. Anything you want to say in the next 15 seconds to the Messier Mantra audience?
Man, on the spot. I mean, I know I've been on the spot. Can't think of anything. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you're welcome. And thank you, Geena, for coming down to the show, and really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you,
It's
Geena
great
Matuson.
being here. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for watching this episode of Messier Mantra with our special guest, Geena Matuson. We'll see you next time on Messier Mantra.